There are many reasons to collect watches. For some, it's a way to connect with an important part of our history. Relics for the previous lifetime. I will cover prominent watches worn during the Second World War, from different branches, from different countries. The first watch I'll cover, series of watches I'll cover, is a production standard known as the A11. The A11 was a production standard used by a number of watch companies, Elgin, Bulova, Waltham, with numerous cases and minor dial and hand variations. These three watch manufacturers dedicated massive amounts of time and capital to the war effort to produce watches and other types of equipment. The mechanics side of the A11 really included only two criterias: the addition of a sweeping second hand and the hacking mechanism. Elgin, Bulova, and Waltham did the details slightly differently, but all fulfilled the fundamental demands. They sought out to create a mass-produced, good-quality mechanism with a high degree of functionality and reliability. The A11 models proved to be more than reliable, whether in the air or in the fields of Normandy. Across the pond in Britain, while British watchmakers were focused on building naval and aviation instruments, the British Ministry of Defense turned to neutral Switzerland to fulfill its massive watchmaking needs. 12 companies would go on to produce watches with the needed specifications: Buren, Sima, Eterna, Grana, Jaeger-LeCoultre, Lemania, Longines, IWC, Omega, Record, Timor, and Vertex. The specifications were quite simple: a piece that was waterproof with luminous hands and chronometer-grade movements, with the reliability that can stand up to the rigors of combat. Despite the 12 brands involved in this great undertaking, today watches from the so-called Dirty Dozen range from moderately rare to extremely rare. Now, across the Pacific, a popular watch worn by Japanese aviators was made by Seikosha. They would produce aviator watches as well as Navy pocket watch for naval officers. These watches were made between the years 1940 to 1945. Like the German WWII watch, these watches were oversized and meant to be worn over flight equipment. It may be fair to say that of all the mass-produced watches during World War II, this is by far the most rare. Many in the watch community are now familiar with the German WWII, which was manufactured by the German Luftwaffe. But while the German army swept across Europe, there were a large host of watch brands that supplied to the army and navy. These watches were manually wound, depending on the date, were cased in either nickel plate or Stoff-Boden or stainless steel. The watches worn by the German army were usually with black dials and luminous markers. Many of these watches can still be found today, some of them even working, but they do come at a premium price. It's very common that a greatly sought-after watch is one with a great story to tell. Today we are free to enjoy these watches, their homages, and their brand reissues without any risk. One can imagine the stories surrounding watches worn by men who found themselves in places such as Anzio, Stalingrad, Bastogne, and those who perish in the depths of the Pacific and the North Atlantic. So regardless of what watch you're wearing, enjoy it and wear it with pride. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.